of Nilou. As you may know, I previously skipped her when she first debuted, when Sumeru launched around that time, and now I recently was lucky and picked her up. So I'm happy to say that she's actually a really nice character and unit to have in your roster. She's a nice to have unit. She's not a must
这样
have
清
unit,
闲的
but
日
I think
子
that her
倒
future
也不错
potential
嘛。
may make her more
悠
of
哉
a
悠
must
哉，
have unit later in the future. But this is a good starting point for myself at least to get her now, and I have no regrets for skipping her originally, and definitely no regrets for getting her now, especially because she's on the banner, and
好，
you know, I didn't have enough to go for C2 Nahida, and I'm not going to pay for that, so here we go. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna quickly go over how I built her. There are different ways, of course, and I'm not building her like the most optimal, I'm gonna be honest, but I mean, I kind of rushed it and I just did it based on what I had. So yeah, I mean, I just got her like a few days ago, right? So you'll notice I leave her at 89 or 90 because I'm trying to max out her friendship first. There's like a little bit there, it's not that big of a difference. I focused on her HP build. So yeah, and in the party, it's a bloom party, so it's the dendro and the hydro because that's just how she has to be for her party restrictions. You'll notice that I don't have the highest crit rate or crit damage because really, it's not about that. It's more about elemental mastery, to be very honest, and I don't have the highest for that either. But it is what it is, and energy recharge is important as well. Yeah, so that's what I have. I gave her the Zephos Moonlight. In the beginning, I did try out giving her the Iron Sting, which is fully craftable, but I do have one copy of Zephos Moonlight from way back when it first debuted, and I leveled it up, and I guess I'll give it to her. The reason is because the passive gives her a little bit extra energy, her and the team. It's based on her energy for each point of elemental mastery that she has, and nearby party members will get a little bit of that, 30% of that. So that's why I gave that to her. If you give her the Iron Sting, which is totally fine, her thing will drop. I'll show you. So yeah, it will say 134 energy right now, whereas if you put the Zephos on, obviously, then she'll have a little bit more. In my case, it's sorry, did I switch it? Oh, what happened? It was 150 something at first. What happened now? Maybe it just didn't reset yet or something. Anyway, it was 150 something. I don't know what happened. It was, as you saw, right? So it's still 134 for whatever reason right now, but that's okay. Anyway, it should be, I don't know what's going on, if it's like some kind of glitch or something. Oh, there, 155. Yeah, it's some kind of glitch. So, yeah, okay. So that's why. And then artifact-wise, I did not go for farming the new domain. Originally, I had thought that the Nymph's Dream new domain artifact was going to be perfect for her, but apparently that's more for like an actual like on-field DPS. She's kind of like an off-field-ish. The title of this is that she's a Bloom DPS, which she is, but technically she's not really an on-field DPS per se, because it's all about her Bloom and Dendro Core and Bountiful Core damage, right? So that's why the Nymph Stream is not really technically for her, even though the name of it and the whole aesthetic of it matches her. I don't think that it's perfectly for her either. And then I don't have Deha, so I didn't bother going to farm that domain at all, the new domain, because the other set is technically for Deha, but some people are saying that it's not really for Deha, so hence there's no need for me to farm. So I went with what I had. Anyway, I decided to give her a 2-piece Tenacity, leftover pieces that I had, to give her the HP bonus, and then I also gave her Gilded Dreams. Originally, I had a 4-piece Gilded Dreams set on her, but technically the 4-piece is more for, I guess, on-field DPS again, and realistically, yeah, you'll get some more Elemental Mastery and all that, and that's fine too. That's not a bad set to have, but I decided to go focus more on the HPs. That's why I wanted to get the extra Tenacity bonus, because I'm not going to the new domain. I didn't get the other HP set bonus, but that's okay. And then, yeah, as you can see, the main stats for all three here, Sands, Goblet, and Circlet, are all HP. And I tried to get Energy Recharge or Elemental Mastery or other HP stats and the substats where possible. The crit, again, wasn't necessary, but those were the pieces that I had. So, yeah, she's C0, but we'll go through the different constellations. But let's go through the talents first. I want to point out that I made a mistake. I should not have leveled up her normal attack and wasted the resources here. I just want to make that clear for anyone who is curious or would probably know better. You should just leave this at level 1 or up to level 6 only if you wanted to give her something, but not level 7 or 8 to waste the gold books on this. But yeah, anyway, I left it at 8, so whatever. Anyway, the main focus, as you'll see in the talent preferences as well, is you should focus on the skill. That's the majority of her damage. It does scale off of her max HP. Of course, it is where she will do her dance. If you hold it, she can have that little aura around her with the water and the hydro, and then she can then have more AoE, let's say, coverage for her cores. And then this one, of course, is just her bloom, her giant lotus, her water lotus that explodes onto the floor. So this is nice, of course, as well for hydro blooms and hydro application, etc. Okay, so then this one is really where the majority of her damage comes from. This one and this one. These two passives are actually where her kit really shines. Basically, long story short, I'm not going to read it all, but basically, regular dendro cores, which is when dendro meets hydro or vice versa, when they hit an enemy, they create the little core and then they explode, right? So her version is the upgraded one, which becomes the bountiful cores, which gives more damage. And unfortunately for her, one of the things that makes her not so, I guess, free-to-play friendly, or I don't know if that's really the case, but like makes her not such a popular character maybe, or maybe makes her more of a niche character, is that she requires another hydro character and other dendro characters, and preferably other streamers already covered this, and when she first debuted they did all the testing and everything. Preferably you would have 2 of each to get the elemental resonances of both elements, so hydro and dendro. So it's her plus any other hydro character, preferably Kokomi or Barbara, because then they can heal her because her cores does hurt her in the end, gives her damage. And then the dendro characters can be drivers, or they can be instigators for creating more cores for her hydro. And then similarly here, this is just talking about her HP, giving her more damage for her bountiful cores. So you want to make sure that you go above 30,000 HP. So I've seen other streamers have like above 60,000 or more HP. I'm only at 55, as you can see, and that's with double hydro for the resonance. So anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so in this party, you'll see that I have Alhaitham there, and that's just to show like if you had the reverse where you wanted to use like another dendro driver character, and then really Kokomi is just there to break the shield. She's not going to do anything else. She'll be there to provide some water and healing and all that stuff. And then Nahida is here to establish this. That's just to do that, and then yeah, we're just going to see. Well, that was really fast. But yeah, like, as you can see, like, I only quickly procced the skills of all of the others, and then they didn't. Now, this boss was very squishy, I guess you could say, because it's one of the earlier bosses in the game. But we can quickly go to another boss, because I knew this was going to happen. So we're going to go and find a beefier boss. I think we're going to fight the Jade Plume. Now, the Jade Plume really goes down when, you have Electro. But so this will make the battle prolonged, because I don't have Electro in this team. But let's just give it a shot. Because I figured this is all new to me too, and I think it's kind of interesting overall. So yeah, let's give it a go, shall we? Okay, so we're switching out to different characters this time, because again, like I said, this is going to be a beefier battle. So this would be more maybe realistic of the situation, whereas like normally you would try to like only focus on using her, but right now, like, let's be real, she herself can't kill them on her own unless the other characters in the team can help her out, basically, to buff the situation. Oops. Okay, jumped away. Annoying, okay? Now, you're probably also going to think like, oh, but then like these are all 5-star characters. Now, again, there are alternatives. I do want to point that out. So Nahida, like, obviously, like she's a must-pull in my opinion. But regardless of that, it's not like not everyone's gonna have her, right? And I get that. And Alhaitham, not everyone's gonna have him, and not everyone went for Kokomi either. I get that. So Kokomi's alternative will be Barbara. Alhaitham, some people may have Tainari from the standard banner, right? So that's also an option. And then of course there's Kale as well, and then Nahida. Then there's Yao Yao as well. So there are different options, and we will be getting Baiju and Kave later in this patch 3.6 phase 2 in a few weeks. So there will be more options as well. And Baiju is a dendro healer, so there's that option as well. And Kave is also a dendro core focused unit and elemental mastery focused unit as well. So there are those options. So that's 2 dendro right there that can be paired together. And then you would have your Nilou and your Barbara as well. And again, if you're not going for Baiju, then you could go with Yao Yao or Kole or Tainari as well. So there are lots of options, and the future is looking bright for Nilou. So this is a good starting point in my opinion. Moving forward, as we go to Fontaine, the water Archon area, there will be Hydro Archon. We will have more Hydro characters as well. Of course, they're going to continue releasing other elemental characters too, so we might have more dendro characters in the future to make her even more interesting. So yeah, those are my thoughts on her. I think that she's an amazing unit. I think that she's fun to use. It's definitely new, refreshing gameplay. Again, when she first launched, I was very hesitant because I was afraid it was going to be like a Kokomi situation, and it is kind of similar in that way, because after Kokomi launched, I really regretted it. If you watch my really old videos, I kind of regretted it. But then later on, it warmed to me, and of course they re-released the clam set for her, and then I think that they did do some adjustments. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And I don't know if there was a little bit of backlash, but anyway, yeah. And then of course, when she was paired with Raiden Shogun, her weapon, I went hard and heavy for the Raiden Shogun's weapon, and then I got the Moon Glow, so that made Kokomi better in that case. Now, just so we're clear, since we're talking about this quickly, you don't need to have the key of Taj Nisut to make her good. That is the only HP substat weapon currently in the game, technically. So unfortunately, there is no alternative to it. I mean, you could give her the Primordial Jade Cutter as well, because it has HP passive, but I ended up giving it to Al-Haytham instead. So that's why I think the Zephos Moonlight is a great option, and I've already talked about this in my old Nilou weapon options video. But yeah, you want to focus on her elemental mastery, so we have this Tokubo Shigure event one from before. Newer players will not have this, so the Iron Sting will be really good. Some of you may also get the Skyward Blade from losing 50-50 on the weapon banner or any other banner, or from the standard banner. This is where I got my latest pull from. So I considered giving this to her as well, because it's energy recharge and it will allow her to do her ult a little bit more often. But realistically, in the end, I think Elemental Mastery is the way to go, because that's where her damage is really coming from, because she's really coming from the Dendro Core, Bountiful Cores, reaction between Hydro and Dendro. So that's why I went there, and as you saw earlier, the Zephos Moonlight, even though there was a glitch in the beginning when you switch the weapon, but then it gives a little bit extra energy, so that's helpful as well. Anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. Let me know if you guys are polling for Nilou or Nahida, or you're skipping these and waiting for Baiju and Kave. But I think that Nahida and Nilou are great characters, and this is going to be a great banner situation. But definitely, I have a guarantee for Baiju. If you saw my polling video, I have a guarantee for Baiju coming up in a few weeks. And I'm basically hoping to get 1 copy of Kave at least, while I'm getting on my road to getting my guaranteed Baiju, and I'm already pre-farming materials now. I haven't fully explored the new desert region yet. I've unlocked it all the waypoints, but I haven't gotten all the items yet, of course. I haven't started that quest yet. I might be doing that separately. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.